I'd like to have a look at exercise 17.06. So this is theta exercise. Oh, not very good either. Theta exercise 17.06, and this is question 10. This is the last one here, and I'm going to write that out there. So it's going to be 10x squared plus 3x minus 2 is 0. All right, so we're going to complete the square on this, and as we do so, we notice that the a value is 10. We really don't want a 10, we want a 1 there, so I'm going to divide everything by 10, each component on both sides. So 10 divided by 10 leaves me with an x squared, which is just what we want. This is 3/10 x, or 3x minus 3x on 10. And this, of course, I'm just going to write 1/5 here. So that's going to be minus 1 over 5 is equal to 0. So let's add a fifth to both sides at this point. So I'm going to add 1/5, add 1/5. There we go. So we can now cross out the fifth on this side, and we're now left with, that implies that x squared plus 3/10, or 3x on 10, is equal to 1/5, which is where we're at. Now let's add to both sides the b value, which is 3/10, and I'm going to halve it. Well, if I halve it, I'm going to double the denominator, so it's going to be 3 on 20. So I'm going to put 3/20, and I'm going to square it. Same on both sides, add 3/20. I'm going to take that b value. Oops, it's 20ths, not 10. That's a 2. Okay, it's a 2. No, good. Okay, and I'm going to square it. All right, let's take a look. So now, nice and simple, I can take the x, that implies that x plus 3/20 all squared is equal to, and I got to complete the square bit now, and I'm going to reconcile this bit on the other side, is 1/5 plus, and I'm going to go ahead and square this now. Well, 3 squared is 9, 20 squared is 400. And there we are. So I'm just going to add these two together, and if you weren't sure, I can just do it on the calculator. 1/5 plus 9 400ths. So let's just do that. 1/5, 1/5 plus 9 400ths. Here we go. It's not very good focus, is it? 89 400ths. Right, okay, equals 89 400ths. I've left a bit of space there because we're about to take the square root of both sides. So let's take the square root of both sides. So I'm going to go, this is going to be x plus 3/20 squared. I'm going to take the square root of this side. I'm going to take the square root of this side, which becomes plus or minus 89 on 400. Well, square root of 89 is going to be an irrational number. There's nothing I can do about that. But if I take the square root of this, I'm going to end up with an x plus 3/20. Take the square root of this side, I'm going to end up with a plus or minus root 89 over, and if I take the square root of 400, I'm going to get 20. And you can see this is rather handy, because if I subtract 3/20 from both sides, minus 3/20, where I end up is x is going to equal, I'm going to have a common denominator, so I'm going to have minus 3 plus or minus root 89 all over a common denominator of 20. There it is. And it's just handy to write. You don't have to write it that way, but it just shows the examiners that you kind of recognize there's a more succinct way of writing this figure here. And that would be here. So now we're ready to solve. We've got the answer. We're going to restate this. I'm not going to do it on the calculator. So I'm going to write x in two versions. So I can say either, and I'll do it as a decimal. They always seem to like a decimal answer here. So I prefer the third form, but we'll go with a decimal answer. So I'm going to take minus 3. I'm going to go plus 89 divided by 20. Let's do that version first. So I've got minus 3, negative 3, and I've got plus root 89. There it is. And we're going to end up with dividing by 20, and I get 0.32. And I'm just going to leave it as, 32. Yeah, I'm just going to do two significant figures there. So it's going to be 0.32. 0.32. And I'm going to put here 2SF. There we are. Nice. Okay, next bit, I'm going to have or x is equal to, and let's take a look. This time I'm going to take minus 3, and I'm going to go minus 89. So I've got minus 3 minus root 89, divide it by 20, and I end up with, negative 0.62 equals negative 0.62, and I'm just going to write here 2SF. So they are my two answers. Hopefully you're happy with that, and that makes sense.